What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Paranormal Mind podcast.
What's up, everybody?
Dude.
What?
Like, since we're doing it virtual now, is there a way that I can send a virus or something to that soundboard to shut it up?
No, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, we definitely do. But you know what? Everybody else loves it, so I guess not.
Exactly.
Still,
everybody's here for the
I guess it's what the
soundboard,
people
man.
want.
Yep. Gotta give the people what they want.
I know, and even from the soundboard, like, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but we have merch, and now we have a shirt that is kind of inspired from all of that. The What's Up, Everybody?
It is,
and it's a good
What's
seller.
Up, Everybody?
It's a good seller. Yeah, it's a pretty good
cool.
seller, honestly. So, anyway, today, man,
What's
I want
been
to
up,
talk
man?
about something. Oh, well, I was going to jump into it, but yeah, not much has been up. Of course, like we've been saying before, it's just been busy doing stuff and making decisions that are going to be better for like our businesses and all that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
What about with you? Just working?
Just working, man. You know the deal.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm trying to adjust some of this light.
I hear you. No, it's all good.
But yeah, just trying to, working, and then we're kind of working through little bugs here and there with doing this over the internet. But I think we're getting it figured out. I was pretty happy with the last episode and how it sounded. So.
Yeah, we're getting things worked out. And also, like, one cool thing with this format is we'll be able to have guests on here every once in a while.
Yeah.
So people that you're wanting to hear from and all of that, you'll be able to hear from them, and it'll be a little easier to do that because the in-person setup, which I love the studio,
right?
It's a little more challenging to get guests in, whether flying in or driving in.
Of course.
So doing this on the fly, that's going to help a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I am excited to see like who our first guest will be. We should do that soon.
Yeah, we should. And if y'all have any suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're doing this video and audio, as you all know. But if you want to see the video, you can go to patreon.com/searchersbelieve, and there you'll see the video portion of this. But of course, the audio is always going to be free. It's something we try to reach everybody that we can and try to offer things to everybody. We don't want to leave anybody out. The Patreon, we have that. It kind of supports our traveling and our filming and doing what we do. And we really do appreciate everybody that is able to contribute in that way. But even if you're listening to us on audio and sharing the podcast, you're still contributing and you're still helping. And we still appreciate y'all just as much. So,
yeah, if you do listen to the audio version, if you could just take one of your friends and invite them to listen to it as well. It'll help us grow the podcast a little bit more.
Yeah, the word of mouth. I mean, doing it organically like that, I think is the best way. Of course, we can do marketing and advertising and stuff, but whenever y'all are sharing it with other people, it truly does help us a lot, and we really do appreciate what you guys do. And this is why we're trying to get this back going, even though we've had the hiccups. Even though we can't get to the studio as much as we'd like to, we still have made steps to do it virtual, and that's what we're going to do until we can get things worked out with our schedules and everything like that. So we really do appreciate y'all while we were the hiatus, and definitely. Us not having episodes to air. We really do appreciate y'all being patient with us and sticking with us. It means a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And, we released an episode today, and just seeing all the commenting and how everybody was so happy that a new episode had come out. It's great. Makes me feel good. It's good to know that it was, welcome with open arms again. And yeah.
Oh, and it was missed, like we could have been, it could have been another situation where they're like,
it's true.
I don't really care either way,
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah.
So anyway, thank y'all so much. I don't want to take too much time because I want to jump into the topic. But again, we can't say it enough. The reason we're able to do all of this stuff is because of your support. So thank you, and just keep hanging with us. We got a lot of cool things to announce in the future. So, but anyway, we're going to jump into the topic today. We are going to be talking about the Slender Man stabbings.
Oh, dang.
And
yeah,
this
is a good one.
Yeah, this was a big story. Trying to see, 2014 is when it happened.
Yep.
Now, if you don't know about the Slender Man, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. The Slender Man is a fictional character that originated from an internet meme created by Eric Knudsen, I guess, or Knudsen, or, I don't know if the K is silent or not, and I'm Southern, and I don't know. Knudsen. I guess that's how you pronounce it.
I don't know, man.
Hey, listen, I even tried to do the Google Translate, and it didn't help me at all. It didn't do any favors.
You're in a bad spot when you're trying to Google Translate it.
You know what? So real quick before I jump into the Slender Man, I've got to say this. So I hate this, and I don't know if it's just because I'm not reading as much anymore, but I find myself, the older I get, having a harder time pronouncing anything. And whenever I was in school and everything, I was like an excellent speller, was great in English and everything. And now it's like all of that is fading away. I don't know what the hell. I guess I'm getting dumber with age. I don't know.
It sounds like I sound like a broken record most days. I'll get caught into like a word and I'm just like stuck on it. It's like my brain short circuits or something.
That was a problem when I was doing the Holzer files and stuff. They would tell me, because I would respond the same way in the interview portions. I would be like, I would be like, oh wow, that's really interesting, and I would say interesting legit like 80 times throughout the course of the interview. Yeah, it's crazy, and I get in those repetitive things where I say the same word over and over and over again. I hate it too. Sometimes I'll say, and literally this and literally that, and I'll use that to kind of make myself sound more interesting. I guess that's what it is. It's weird, but anyway, the Slender Man. Let's get back on topic here. The Slender Man is a fictional character created by Eric Knudsen. I'm just going to stick with that, okay? If I'm wrong, y'all tell me I'm wrong. He was also known as Victor Surge on the Something Awful forums in 2009.
Okay.
The character is depicted as a tall, faceless figure in a black suit with tentacle-like appendages. He's often associated with stalking and abducting children.
Oh, dang.
Whoa, I hear a dog. It's a Slender Man in your
my
backyard.
dog
What's
goes
going
out
on?
there. Maybe we can only hope.
Dude, can they hear my voice? Because every time I show up at your house, they go nuts.
Yeah, they just get excited when there's anything different going on.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I just don't bark, but same with me. If there's something new at my house,
True.
It would be funny. Can you imagine if I just started
people
randomly
just went around barking?
And if y'all are new to the podcast, we go off on tangents like this all the time, so please bear with us. I'm sorry, but we just go off on some weird tangents. Yep. The paranormal mind. We should call it the chaotic mind or something.
Yeah,
but anyway, so while Slender Man is a creation of pure fiction, the line between reality and fantasy blurred disastrously for two young girls in Waukesha, Wisconsin, in 2014. This case shocked the nation and raised questions about the influence of internet culture on young minds, which is another topic altogether.
Yeah.
It's a thing worthy to be talked about, because
for sure.
That's for sure. This social media is on young mind on their at their fingertips now. So they're being taught a lot by social media anyway. But this was back in 2014. Now, on May 31st, 2014, two 12-year-old girls, Anissa Weir and Morgan Geyser lured their friend Peyton Lautner into a wooded area. I'm sorry. My pronunciation sucks.
I had to do it.
You suck. All right. The girls had planned the attack for months, believing that they needed to kill their friend to appease Slender Man and prove their loyalty to him. Super weird.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Morgan Geyser, who had a history of mental illness, was the one who carried out the stabbing. Anissa Weir encouraged her, and together they stabbed Peyton 19 times.
That is crazy.
19 times. So they were trying to get the job done for sure. So miraculously, though, Peyton survived. Peyton survived the stabbing. She crawled to a nearby road where a cyclist found her and called for help. The details of the attack are harrowing. The girls had planned to kill Peyton during a sleepover, initially intending to carry out the stabbing in the middle of the night while she was asleep.
God, dude.
When that plan failed, they lured her to the woods under the guise of playing hide and seek. Can you imagine being a teenager, trusting your so-called friends just for them to lure you into the woods to try to stab you to death?
Make sure you're teaching your kids not to stab their friends. That's wild, man.
It's bizarre to me, man. It's like the equivalent. It's like the equivalent of us praising one of the, like Big Bird from Sesame Street, and
you're right.
And us feeling like Big Bird wanted one of us to kill the other one.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Bizarre and so weird.
That is so true, though.
So anyway, what's particularly disturbing is the belief system that drove them. Anissa and Morgan genuinely thought that if they didn't go through with the plan, Slender Man would harm their families. They wanted to believe his proxies and live with him in his mansion. No, they wanted to become his proxies and live with him in his mansion, which they believed was located in the Nicolet National Forest.
That is so crazy.
Literally. And I'm going to use the word literally. Yeah, literally. That's crazy. This case brought to light the powerful impact that internet culture can have on impressionable minds. The Slender Man mythos had spread widely across various platforms, and I remember this. It was a big deal.
Too.
I think there was a game and everything that
there was
kids would play.
Yeah, I was just looking here on the internet. There's 2 video games that came out for Slender Man
during that time, right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yep. So the case brought to light the powerful impact that internet culture can have on impressionable minds. Like I said, the whole Slender Man thing spread widely across various platforms, with stories, images, and videos contributing to a sort of shared universe that felt real to many young fans.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
After their arrest, both girls were charged as adults due to the severity of the crime. Good. Their mental health became a focal point. Their mental health became a focal point during the trials. Morgan was diagnosed with early onset schizophrenia, while Anissa was diagnosed with a shared delusional disorder. Now, remember, we talked about shared delusion in the past with those twins. Remember?
Yeah. Which was also
remember
insane.
The twins that.
Yeah.
Right. So whenever they were apart, they acted normally. Whenever they were together, they freaked the hell out.
Nuts. Yeah.
Yep. So the case, let me see here. Let me get where I'm at. All right. So in 2017, Anissa Weir was sentenced to 25 years in a mental health institution after pleading guilty to attempted second-degree homicide. Morgan Geyser, meanwhile, was sentenced to 40 years in a mental health institution after pleading guilty to attempted first-degree intentional homicide.
It's crazy.
The case had far-reaching effects, leading to debates about the nature of online content and the responsibilities of content creators. It also sparked conversations about mental health, particularly in children and adolescents. This case is a profound example of how media and mental health intersect, often with catastrophic consequences. Can you explain how a fictional character, this is something I want to ask you, when I was writing my notes and writing all this up, this is what I want to ask you, all right? Can you, like rationally or irrationally, whatever, can you explain how a fictional character like Slender Man could influence children to commit such a violent act?
I think to a certain point, the psyche of whoever it does influence is already broken to some degree, right? And it's just like, I guess, having an imaginary friend or having, just, you have this hole in you and you need to have it filled with something extraordinary sometimes. And unfortunately, some people find that in things such as this, and then really let it all get away from them to where they are fully immersed in the belief that, you know, Slender Man is out there, and to become part of his family, you have to go, you know, sacrifice these kids, you know, which is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and, you know, it's interesting that you said that, like, a lot of them like has something broken, or maybe like a hole in their heart that needs to be filled with something, or something of substance. You find this a lot too, in different religious sects as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, somebody wanting something more, so they will gravitate to a certain belief system or whatever, because they are wanting, they're wanting either some validation or some meaning in their life. And sometimes that is,
and, you know, you find that in serial killers too. Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's true. So Manson, for instance, and Jim Jones, there was people that followed him to the ends of the earth because they wanted to believe in something greater than themselves, and in turn, what happened was to their detriment. There was things happening to their detriment. And so I agree. I mean, it could start with this, but to the point of physical violence is something that really, really puzzles me, especially as a kid trying to do this, you know?
Right. You know, I kind of want to piggyback off of something that you said, or like, you know, not all times does it turn out to be bad like this. Sometimes people cling on to things that end up being really good. You know, they put those efforts and influence into doing something good. So it is kind of disheartening when things like this happen, because with, you know, who knows what was going on in their life as they were growing up and stuff to lead them down that kind of road. It's
true. Their home life or their school life.
Right.
Or kind of a mixture of both. You know, children, especially in their preteen and early teen years, are highly impressionable. Like, their cognitive and emotional development is still ongoing, making it difficult for them to differentiate between fantasy and reality fully. So before I get going, these dogs are like, are they attacking each other? What the hell is
They're going crazy. On? No, it's because I think Mandy just got home, and so they're going nuts.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Hey, you know what though? It's fine. This shows you the realness of what we're doing, you know, and this is one of the hiccups that we were worried about, is like any interference or background noise.
Being able to hear anything. Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, like I said, we're trying to keep this rolling out for you guys, no matter what the interference is. It sounds like they're being like harmed.
They're so ridiculous, man. No, they're just, I can already tell you, they're sitting on the couch, looking out the window, waiting for her to come inside. That's what it is. They're all starting to calm down a little bit, except for a basset hound. She's like the worst.
Maybe they see Slender Man. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe. That's what I'm gonna wish Slender Man's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So So if kids, if they're exposed to intense, immersive narratives and are dealing with underlying mental health issues, it can become even more challenging, especially since they're so
Yeah,
impressionable and all of that. In the
right.
case of Morgan and Anissa, how do you think their mental health issues contribute to their actions? Like, what would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would think certainly, right? Certainly there's something, there's a lot of mental health crises out in the world, or crises, I guess you would say, that
Mm-hmm.
are left unchecked, right? You and I both are really big advocates of receiving proper mental health out there, and being,
Yeah.
I guess, transparent about that kind of stuff as well. But not everybody is like that. And sometimes when it can go unnoticed, these are
And
this is the
unchecked.
result of it. And unchecked, this is the result of that, right?
Yeah, I agree. Like Morgan's diagnosis, for instance, of schizophrenia, it meant she was experiencing a distorted reality anyway. So her
Yeah,
hallucinations and delusions were likely reinforced by the narrative of Slender Man.
right.
Anissa's shared delusional disorder suggests she was highly susceptible to Morgan's beliefs, creating a dangerous feedback loop between both of them.
So you had
So,
one that believed it, the other one was feeding into it. And
yeah, the other one was basically the supportive
right. Yeah,
accomplice, but at the end of the day, they're both responsible because they both
right.
were doing it. Which I don't get how one had a lesser uh, sentence if they were both like one was holding the other one down. You know,
That's a
it's
good
just
question. There's a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old, right? That's what it looks like.
It was two 12-year-old girls, I believe. They were
Oh,
12
was
at
it?
the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And after 7 years in custody, though, Anissa, she was granted early release and will be under supervision until she's 37. Which,
Dude, I'm
good.
reading
That
some
needs to
other
happen.
stuff. There was like multiple cases of that spawning. It kind of spawned this whole like panic from in other incidents
Yeah.
from it.
Yep.
There's a
Yep. So
13-year-old attacked her mom with a knife and had written macabre fiction, some involving the Slender Man, who the mother said motivated the attack. That's crazy, man. And it
it's
kicked off
insane.
so quick.
Yeah. It's insane. So I want to ask you this, and I know you're not a parent, but you're like a guardian, or you're kind of
Yeah.
like a parent to your
Yeah.
nieces and stuff. But so
Right.
what do you think parents or guardians can do to prevent something like this from happening? Now, of course,
Honestly,
people are going to do what they do, but what do you think?
right. I mean, you can, yeah, like you said, you can only influence your kids' lives to some extent and protect them from things to a certain extent. However, building a relationship built off like transparency and trust, I guess, is one of the important ones, right? And being willing to listen to whatever it is, and where they're not ashamed
No matter what.
or
Yeah.
no matter what, right? Remember to, being there for them is primary. If it's something bad, punishing them is secondary to that, right? You should not punish without any kind of goal to achieve out of that. But most importantly, being there for them and being an ear to them, they really need that.
I completely agree. What I had in my notes when I was doing this is I said monitoring internet use is crucial, but so is open communication. So we agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Encourage children to talk about what they're reading or watching online. And, I think being involved in what they're watching and what they're reading online is crucial as well.
Yeah.
And then educate them about the difference between fiction and reality. And importantly, pay attention to any signs of mental distress and seek professional help if needed.
I think me and you both probably are in a weird situation with that, where there's a lot of things in my life that are extremely wild in comparison to the standard, like, upbringing, standard person, right? And I think, though, because of that, it actually encourages the fact that they really, my nieces, for example, really can talk to me about stuff, and that more than likely I probably have some value to add to whatever their concerns is or whatever they're going through, right? Because while I did a lot of things, I can give them honest opinions on what I feel like is a mistake and what I feel like, oh, you may not like it today, but tomorrow it's going to be something completely different, and you don't have to worry about this.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. So the Slender Man stabbings serve as a grim reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked mental health issues and the pervasive influence of internet culture. So as we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on the resilience of Peyton Lautner, the victim.
Yeah.
Despite the trauma she endured, she survived and has been incredibly brave throughout her recovery. Peyton's story is one of survival and strength. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can prevail. I mean, just imagine being stabbed 19 times, being out in the woods with your so-called friends and having to endure something like that, and being strong enough to not give up, to fight back.
She literally lived, she lived the hero character in a horror movie. I mean, she really did, in a slasher movie. That's it.
And unfortunately, it's going to be something that mentally she's going to have to deal with for the rest of her life. It's something
100%.
You just imagine too, like trust issues with people that you call friends or loved ones.
Yeah.
Being able to fully trust them ever again is going to be something she's going to deal with for the rest of her life, and it's unfortunate. But before we wrap up the show, if you or someone is struggling with mental health issues, please seek help. There are resources available, and talking to a professional can make a world of difference. And we will try to put some links in the show notes after this. But that's really important to us. If you're dealing with things and kind of, even if you're dealing with like false senses of reality and kind of like this story, and you're listening to this and you're kind of lost in that, there is help, and there's resources that can help you, and you're not alone. There's a lot of people that deal in the same way that you do. And again, like I said, there's help out there for you. So don't give up and seek help if you need it.
We're here too. And, if you've heard us talk at any of the events that we've been to or conventions, then you'll know that we're, an email away, a text message away, a message away, whatever. And it all starts with that, right? It starts with that conversation.
Agreed. So that's all for today's episode of the Paranormal Mind podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us as we delved into this tragic and complex case. We hope it offered some insights and raised awareness about the important issues surrounding it. And also be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Subscribe to our podcast if there's a way that you can subscribe and have the notifications on. That helps us a lot because you'll be notified right away whenever we do have new episodes coming out, which is every Friday so far.
Yep.
And for the foreseeable future, as long as we can continue doing this here, we will have one every Friday for you. But subscribe to the podcast for more discussions on the mysteries and darkness that lurk at the edge of our understanding. Also, before we go, please support our sponsor, Horn Paranormal. They have a lot of cool ghost hunting gear.
Horn Paranormal, man. They're awesome.
They are awesome. They have a lot of cool paranormal gear and a lot of really cool things. That's a big applause, huh? They have a lot of really cool gear. So if you're into like ghost hunting and you're into things like that, things of that nature, they have different tools and stuff that they have made and designed that will help you along your journey and all of that stuff. And they've been supporting us majorly in this season of the podcast, and we really do appreciate their support. So go check them out, hornparanormal.com. Again, if you're not a Patreon member, you could be one with us. It's patreon.com/searchersbelieve. And you can be a free member, or you can sign up. Now, free members don't get like the video and all that stuff, but you can still join the community. We welcome you to do that.
Absolutely.
But to see the video and to take part in our giveaways and stuff,
and Zoom meetups these days. So
Zoom meetups as well. That you have to be subscribed to a certain tier, because that just helps us with our giveaways and everything that we are doing. But until next time, stay safe, keep questioning the world around you, and we will talk to y'all later.
See ya.